in that powerful purple protest package, women across South Africa are preparing to withdraw not just their labour and their spending, but their presence from the economy this Friday in a national shutdown against gender-based violence. As Women for Change call for a day of silence, absence and solidarity, one organisation is calling for something very different from the country's men. Not silence, but action. Men, they say, must not shut down, they must step up. Well, joining us now is best-selling author, men's development expert, and founder of Father a Nation, Craig Wilkinson, who argues that good men are dangerous, but good men are key to ending the gender-based violence. Craig, thanks very much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Peter, thank you so much. Great to be with you.
So, Craig, in the context of this national shutdown by Women for Change, you've said that whilst women are shutting down the country, men should shut down violence. What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, Peter, I think what we as men need to do is to start with ourselves. We need to become the best men we can possibly be. Be a great father, be a great husband, a great partner, a great citizen. And that means examining ourselves and saying, well, is there anything in me that is potentially harmful or destructive either to myself or my loved ones? And let me work on myself. I've just published this book, which has come out this month called Force for Good. And it talks about how men have two sacred responsibilities. The first one is to grow their strength, because the more strength we have, and strength really is defined as your ability to impact the lives of others. The more strength we have, the more able we are to make a difference positively. The second sacred responsibility is then to use that strength only for good. Starts by being a great husband, father, mentor, role model. It then moves to being a great spokesperson and to influencing your circle of friends and influences. And men need to be active. The vast majority of sexual and violent crime against women is perpetrated by men. And so the solution lies with men. We need to stand up and stop doing that. And I think the whole focus around gender-based violence needs to go way beyond creating awareness. We need to look at what are the root causes of this. No man is it's not in the nature of masculinity or manhood to be toxic and abusive. And we need to say, well, why are men doing that? There are reasons, and we need to look at those reasons, and we need to fix and heal those reasons.
All right. I mean, some men will, or some people generally actually, would argue that tackling GBV requires more laws, harsher punishment, and stronger government interventions. You're looking at transformation really as the best way to go. Men's identity and purpose. Why is that central in your view?
Well, there's a beautiful saying that says, to the extent that a country or a society has values, law is not necessary because people behave well and one doesn't need to implement draconian messages. And the other side of that is to the extent that we don't have values, law is unenforceable. Now, law and government intervention is absolutely essential. I'm 100% behind what these women are doing because we need government to stand up and wake up, and we need proper law enforcement and we need proper accountability. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is that's not enough. There are still people, in spite of the fact that there might be consequences, that are broken and wounded and have the wrong concept of what it means to be a man. And unless we fix that as well as the punishment side of things and the law enforcement side of things, the problem will just continue.
You talk about root causes. How does the crisis of fatherlessness, identity confusion, and the lack of positive role models feed into the wider epidemic of gender-based violence?
I think it's the single biggest cause, Peter. Young boys look to older men to model to them what it means to be a man. Young boys look to older men, preferably their father, but it can be, any older man who's a father figure who's intimately engaged, to validate them and to discipline them and to teach them and model to them what it means to be a man. In the absence of that, boys grow up unvalidated, wounded in their masculinity, confused about what it means to be a man. They take their cues from the gangster on the street corner, the uncle that's perhaps beating his wife. And so without those strong, disciplined role models, boys grow up wounded, damaged, and with a false concept of masculinity. And that's, to me, the single biggest cause of the crisis that we have in our nation today.
So the G20 summit begins in Johannesburg, right here on African soil for the very first time. What message would you want global leaders to take on board about men, masculinity, and the fight against gender-based violence?
Well, that true masculinity is a beautiful gift to humanity. We need to validate masculinity. Men are absolutely necessary and a tremendous gift, but it can go horribly wrong. And we need to look at where it goes wrong and why it goes wrong. And we need to really focus on restoring the male figure in the household, the male figure in communities, but with a strong message about what that is. I say to men, we need to be both the warrior and the lover. And that's what men are: strong, resolute, take full responsibility, take it on the chin, do what needs to be done, no matter how painful it is. That's the warrior. And the lover is caring, loving, empathetic, emotionally literate, able to be appropriately vulnerable. And we need to get much stronger messaging about masculinity, not demonize it, not call men trash. We need to value masculinity and teach what it really truly is, and then honor and reward that.
Perhaps finally and briefly, I'm
Mhm.
always amazed that if you speak to any woman, she'll tell you of a story of either her or someone she knows who's has been subject to gender-based violence. And it seems men don't know men that do it. I don't understand how that can be. And I guess I'm asking, what do men need to do to other men to stop this?
Sure. It's a great question. Peter, the brotherhood is crucial in this. And the brotherhood of men needs to hold each other accountable. We need to speak to each other. We need to not tolerate any form of abuse in whatsoever amongst our friends. And we need to start talking. We need to start talking more about this as men. The locker room talk, the the sexist comments, the racist comments. We need to call these things out. And as men, hold each other. We need to shun anybody in our circle who is involved in any way whatsoever or in demeaning or treating women as less than. And, that's many reasons why I wrote this book, Force for Good, which has come out this month. It's teaching men how to be a force for good. And part of that is standing up against this in our brotherhood circles.
Craig, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so, so much indeed for your thoughts and insights on this very
Great
sensitive
pleasure.
subject. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That was Craig Wilkinson, best-selling author, mass development expert, and founder of Father a Nation, with some really powerful thoughts and insights. And I just hope we learn.